Okay, so now one thing I didn't mention about the Meepo board that I really love is this handle. I think it's super dope.
And we are the dreamers of dreams.
Living life, spinning like a merry-go-round. Traveling all around the world, you know we get surround. Good vibes only. You know it's the one and only Justin Bravo. Come on. Yeah, that's my number one homie. Subscribe. Come on.
Yo, what's going on, Goat Gang? I'm back. It's Friday. I got a fresh video for you today. And what it is, it's the Boosted Mini versus the Meepo shortboard. I got tons of questions about it and comments on the last video. Some people hit me up on Instagram at JustJustinBravo, and they were asking, how does the Boosted Mini compare to the Meepo shortboard? Because people are still looking for that budget shortboard option. And I'm gonna get right into it. I have all the specs of both. We can break them down. I'm gonna break out the actual measurements. Boosted Mini versus the Meepo. That way you can make the best choice possible and you can see which is the board for you. But I'm back. It's Friday. I'm feeling pretty good. It's going to be the weekend tomorrow and I'm super excited about that. And again, I hope y'all are having a great Friday. I hope y'all are having the greatest Friday of all time. And let's get right at it, Goat Gang. Meepo versus Boosted Mini. Let's see who wins. So there is the Meepo shortboard in all its glory. Pretty cool board. Okay, so let's get right after it. The first thing is the size. The Meepo shortboard is 29.5 inches. And I know it says 30 inches on the website, but I'll show you right now in a measurement. It is, in fact, 29.5 inches, which is identical to what the Boosted Mini is. So you're dealing with the exact same length on the board. Now the width, I'm not 100% sure because I don't have a Boosted Mini right here in front of me, but what I'll tell you this, the measurements on the Meepo shortboard is the same 11 inches from wheel end to wheel end. So it's 11 inches wide if we're talking about the wheels themselves. That's 11 inches. And that is exactly what the Boosted Mini says it is. But if we're talking about the deck, and I don't know that the Boosted Mini has an 11-inch deck, but the deck on the Meepo shortboard is 9 inches. So I'm not 100% sure if we got exact measurements, but both being 11 inches wheel to wheel, if that's correct, then we have pretty much the exact same size board with the Meepo and the Boosted Mini. Now the Meepo shortboard stands a little bit taller, not by much, but a little bit taller than the Boosted Mini because the Boosted Mini has an 80mm wheel and the Meepo has a 90mm. So it's a little bit bigger, not much, but it is a little taller. Now everybody's going to know, what about weight? What's the deal on the weight? Now the Meepo shortboard weighs in at 15.6 pounds. 15.6 pounds. The Boosted Mini S weighs in at 15 pounds solid. Boosted X weighs in at 16.8. So this board is right kind of in the middle of there. Now there's two battery options for the Meepo shortboard. You can get the regular battery and you can get a Sanyo upgraded battery. And I'll tell you the differences right now. Now I know this is a lot to digest, but I want to be as thorough as possible when it comes to all the specs between these two boards. Now the Boosted Mini S can do 7 miles on a charge. The Boosted Mini X can do 14 miles on a charge. You have the Meepo shortboard on its regular battery can do 11 miles, and on its Sanyo Tesla battery can go up to 17 miles. So as far as range is concerned, Meepo shortboard wins. Now I haven't done a range test, but there hasn't been any range tests on the shortboard either, so we don't know exactly if the stated facts are the actual facts, but I'll tell you that the other boards that I've done from Meepo and Boosted have been fairly close, and usually they underestimate them, so I haven't had any problem with that, but that's at my weight. Usually they do the weights around 165 pounds, and I happen to weigh 170 pounds, so I'm fairly close. That way most of the stated on the website is pretty close to what I get on the boards. So the Meepo does win out a little bit on range according to the specs, and I think that has a lot to do with the motors themselves not being a belt-driven motor, being a hub motor. And I think that's probably where you see the difference at, but because the weight's the same, all dimensions for the most part are the same, you're pretty much dealing with a very, very similar board. So ultimately it has to come down to the motors. Now for the blazing hot speed of these shortboards, the Boosted Mini S goes up to 18 miles per hour. And if you get the X, that bumps it up to 20 miles per hour. Now the Meepo shortboard claims 22 miles per hour. I've yet to do a speed test on it, but it seems to go every bit as fast as 1820 just based on feel, but I haven't actually clocked it, but I'll tell you that I think it's really getting that speed. And honestly, I get a little scared going 22 miles an hour on a short board. I like to have the little bit more of a flexibility of a long board when I'm hitting bumps at 22 miles an hour. Meepo wins on speed and it wins on range. What about hill climbing? Can the Meepo get up hills? Well, on the website, Boosted Mini claims 20%, heel grades, Meepo claims 30%. And I'll tell you, I've ridden around the neighborhood. I've had no problems going up hills. It really gets after it. Those motors, man, they just really turn and burn. And I have had zero issues when it comes to climbing hills. Now, a couple similarities that the Boosted Mini and the Meepo shortboard have are the charge times are very close. They're about an hour and a half, give or take a little bit on both ends, depending on the battery you get. About an hour and a half to charge a board, so that's very similar. They both have the 3 ride modes, which is ideal, especially if you're new to the e-board scene and you're trying stuff out. You can start off easy, you can work yourself up to that 22 mile per hour, 30% grade hill stuff. That sounds scary, but you can get there, and if you want to do it, you can do it. Both these boards have a concave deck on them, so it's really easy to move around on them. You can sit there and pivot and do a lot of things, so both of that is very similar, and I think you're really gonna like that. Now, the difference is they have a composite deck on the Boosted Mini. This one, I'm not actually sure. There's no specification on what this deck's made of. It feels like a very rigid maple. It's hard to tell, but there's not a lot of flex to it. But it's also a really short board, coming in at 29.5 inches. And for everyone asking about airplane travel, the Meepo fits the specifications. The Meepo, 100%, you can take on an airplane. Same with the Boosted Mini S. The X is too big. I'm not sure about the Sanyo battery. It doesn't state it either way on the website, but the Boosted S and the Meepo shortboard regular battery, perfect for air travel, which is ideal. And the last two things before we get to price is warranty. The Boosted Mini has a 6-month warranty, where the Meepo has a 3-month warranty. And finally, because the Boosted is a belt-driven unit and you got hub motors on the Meepo is actually pushable. Now, if you've ever ran out of batteries on a Boosted, trying to push ride it is very tough. Pushing those belts is extremely difficult, where on the Meepo, it's freewheeling, it's free rolling. So if you run out of batteries, you can ride it like a regular skateboard. And to me, that is a huge win. Now, finally, price. We're finally to price. Okay, so here's the deal on the price. We know the Boosted Mini. The Boosted Mini S comes in at $749. The Boosted Mini X comes in at $999. The Meepo shortboard regular battery comes in at $419, and its Sanyo Tesla upgraded battery is $619. So you are saving at least a couple $100, up to over $400 on the bigger board if you're going with the Meepo option. Now, I think that Meepo wins in a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways that Meepo wins this contest, but there's some build quality, there's some remote control stuff that I like better on the Boosted. The Boosted board brand has just been a little bit more successful, and it has that desirability to it. So I think the Boosted board ultimately will win out, but I think that if you're looking to save a few $100s and get in the shortboard e-board market, I think the Meepo shortboard is a good get. It's a good get. It's been a fun ride for me. I've really enjoyed it, and I have to say, I think it's just a really, really excellent board. Oh my God, Goat Gang, I know that was a lot. I know that was a ton of information to get through, but I want to be as thorough as possible. I did my research, I wrote everything down. I want to make sure the specs were on point as much as possible. So I hope I did a thorough enough evaluation of the Boosted Mini versus the Meepo shortboard. I wish I had a Boosted Mini. I've reached out to Boosted. I have ordered one. I hope to get it early so I can do a proper review on this channel. But I want to get out as much information as possible because I know how hot the Boosted Mini is right now, and I want to provide that information because I do have a lot of members of the Goat Gang that are interested in a budget version of that Boosted Mini, and I think Meepo might be the way to go. Could be a good get. I'll put a link in the description how you can pick up one for yourselves. I'll also put a link to the Boosted board, and y'all can choose for yourself, figure out what you want to do, what you want to be riding on. But for right now, I'm going to go ride the Meepo board, and I have a couple more things I want to show you. Okay, so now one thing I didn't mention about the Meepo board that I really love is this handle. I think it's super dope. I think it's really nice to be able to have this handle to carry it around, and it really kind of just takes off the burden of having to carry it by the trucks or throw it over your shoulder and all the things. I think that you can carry it by the handle, and I think it is a really good option. Now, I think because of the handle, though, it makes the board a little stiffer because I think that they have to account for the handle, so it may take away from the flexibility of the deck, but overall, I like the handle. I think it's a good get, especially for a portable board. That's the whole idea, is that we can carry this board with us, and the handle allows us to do that. Now, this Meepo board will absolutely get it on. It will just take off, and so I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna do a little bit, I'm not gonna hit it too hard, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of acceleration. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna show you some of the braking power. Okay, so really smooth braking, really solid. I'll tell you, I really like the way the Meepo reacts. The remote, to me, is pretty ideal. Now, it's not as good as the Boosted. I do like the Boosted remote better. I've said it in other videos. It does have this type of remote on it, and I like the Boosted style better. It allows for a little bit more control. The actual scroll wheel gives you a little bit more feathering on acceleration and braking. I do like that a little bit more. Plus, Boosted board has their jerk filter, so it won't hit it really hard. It won't jerk you off the board. It kind of stifles the acceleration or braking, so it doesn't jerk you very hard. So the Meepo doesn't have that, so you can definitely feel it. Now, if you like that feel, if you like the feeling of just being rocketed out of your seat, 100% the Meepo will do that, especially on that pro mode. On that level 3, it will send you flying. Now, the Boosted will also do the same thing, especially the new Stealth. The Boosted Stealth supposedly totally gets rid of that jerk mode, and then it's really taking off power. But anyway, the Meepo, good board. Boosted Mini looks like a good board. Hopefully be able to ride the Boosted Mini sooner than later. But for now, I'm gonna go hit the Meepo, and I will check y'all later, Goat Gang.